Hey everyone, today was a tough old trading day. The weather was hot, sticky, clammy, and we lost a lot of money, and I had to spend pretty much the entire day trading it back. We traded 10 different stocks today. Two of them went against us, one in a big way, and the rest. So 4-to-1's not a bad ratio of accuracy, but we still finished red on the day. So it was a red day for us today, and unfortunately, 2300 red. So we couldn't recover all of the losses we made with GLSI. So GLSI was the big loser today. We actually lost $24,000 with GLSI, and it was very volatile. It had a couple of volatility halts. It was some big moves, and I tried to get in with the momentum, and I chased the momentum and held my losers too long. Picked my entries impatiently, and quite frankly, traded it very, very badly, and that pretty much set us up for a day of pain and sweat and tears to try and get back even again. Unfortunately, we did have a good trading day, not quite good enough. So we still finished red on the day, 2300 down, and after fees and charges, it's probably going to be close to 4,500 down. So yeah, volatility is back. That seems to be the case. We've got a number of stocks moved and moved to good effect. What I mean by that is good volatility, good range, good some nice parabolic moves with some of the stocks. And unfortunately, because of that one big loss that we took, it kind of wiped out the gains on everything else. We had some really good winners with um, a couple of the stocks that we traded today. Um, so the two big movers pre-market were Canoe, which is GoEV, GOEV is the ticker, and Histogen, HSTO. Those were the two big movers pre-market, and we made money on both of those. We traded Indonesian energy. It popped up based on a good catalyst of natural. It found a natural gas reserve whilst it had been drilling in an oil well. So that moved up. We managed to get green and then gave that back. So we finished red on Indonesian energy. Caspian, what we traded, we got $17,000 yesterday. Was the big gainer today. Extremely volatile, very scary today. We traded it on the way up, but on the way down, it halted 3 times downwards and gapped down. So if anyone was caught, holding bags with Caspian Holdings on the way down, glad I wasn't in it. That's all I can say. We also traded Oramed Pharmaceuticals, and that moved up very nicely around midday. It was, a good, again, decent catalyst. In fact, we had quite a lot of bioscience companies that were moving up today. We managed to get $6,000 out of Oramed Pharmaceuticals. Regional health programs was also a good move. We got almost $2,000 out of that. And Blue Hat, we took nearly $600 out of Blue Hat. So we had some good moves. We had some good tickers. Unfortunately, Greenwich Life Science, or GLSI was the ticker. It just didn't do well for us. We actually lost quite a bit of money on that, and then spent most of the day trading back. Now, normally I wouldn't trade so many tickers at once. Normally I would trade 2-3 maximum and concentrate fully on them. But there was so much moving, And when one stopped moving up and starting to sell off, something else started moving, hitting the scanners, and it was like there was this stock relay, if you will, and they were handing the baton from one stock to another, and it was an interesting day, and it was a sweaty, horrible, sticky day weather-wise. So it wasn't a pleasant day to be actually sat at the desk all day long trying to minimize losses. It really wasn't, but we did, and we got most of the losses minimized. So whilst it's still a red day, I can look for the positives. I just have to look at and review Greenwich Life Sciences and why I took the trades I took in such volatility, chasing the action, and not exiting the positions when it didn't go in my favor. So, decent sized positions as well. So it's my own fault. And I'll just have to take the lessons from this and move on. Before I show you some of the movements on the stocks, remember to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting some more tutorials over the next week. Probably drop at the weekend. And if you want to see those, hit the notification bell. I do go live. I trade live. So the losses and gains that I've made today, the majority of them were done live on stream. If you want to watch me live, you want to join me live, hit the notification bell, and you'll get notified every single day that I'm going live. Okay, so enjoy the quick recap, and I'll see you tomorrow when I trade live 90 minutes before the market opens. See you there. So first trade we took pre-market was with Histogen, and Histogen we got in. We missed. We weren't quick enough to. Well, it's not so much that we weren't quick enough. We were unable to trade this because we're not able to trade till 7:30. So we missed the majority of this move up, and unfortunately, when it did pull back, we looked for another entry. We got in. We had a little bit of an entry here, so as we got in and we rode this bit up before it then pulled back, and we exited the position. We didn't trade that again. We got $200 out of it. It was the biggest mover at that time, and it was on. There was no particular catalyst, but it was trading on good volume as well. Then we traded. It was Canoo, which is it's an EV provider. They had a catalyst with Walmart to deliver electric vehicles through Walmart. So that was a good news catalyst. And we traded this again. This was just after we traded. Traded this a few times across the day, but our first trade was here, and as it moved up, we took this and got out at the top, and we exited all of our positions as it broke a new low here. So again, we started off okay. We did trade this a little bit later as we started to move into towards the open. This move up off the VWAP, got a lovely bounce off the VWAP. So that's where we entered the position. And we took some profits up here as it started to pull back. And then this consolidation, we were getting consolidation just over $4, 4.10s. And then when it started to make a move up on this candle here, we got in and took some profits here. And we were holding... I think it was Indonesian Energy that we were holding at the bell. So we took some profits here and exited the position, but we did get back in after the bell as this moved up. We got in here as it moved up. We got this opening candle here, and the high of that opening candle, as we broke the high of that opening candle, that's when we got in, and we got out here at the top. We did trade it a little bit more, and the pullback here, as it made new highs, we entered a position, and it went against us, so we exited the position on this one as it pulled back. Our next trade, in fact, was Indonesian Energy, as I mentioned. We traded Indonesian Energy pre-market, a little bit. So we got this huge move up just after 8 o'clock. It announced that the natural gas reserves that it found, and that was a good catalyst based on the price of natural gas over the last while. And we were able to trade it well on the way up, and we got some nice profits there. And then got the pullback, broke the VWAP. We weren't trading it anymore. We'd already exited the position, and then we entered the position here as it moved up. Got a new high on the 2-minute on the higher time frames. So we entered the position there, and we were holding for a good 15-20 minutes into the bell. I was expecting, based on the catalyst, based on the news catalyst, that we might get a bit of a gap and go. Unfortunately, it sold off at the open, and we exited at the bottom of this candle. It continued to sell off pretty much the rest of the day. So whether the market, for whatever reason, didn't react as I thought it was going to with regards to Indonesian energy in that particular catalyst, but that does happen from time to time. The markets can be completely irrational, and they can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent, if you will. So, and GLSI hit the scanners, and so this is Greenwich Life Science. GLSI is the ticker. And this hit the scanners, and it was very volatile. This is just after the open. It moved up with a plum. It moved up into a halt, gapped up, very healthy, very strong gap up. So it was over a dollar higher, kind of $1.20 higher when it on resumption moved up. We took a position. Is it pulled back? I was expecting it to pull back from such a high gap up. So as it did pull back, it then moved back up, and we took a position for the break of highs, and it then moved against us and started to sell off. So we got in here, and as it pulled back, it started to move back up. So we added to a position for the break up at 14s, and it pulled back further. And we exited as it broke the VWAP. We exited our position there. It did look like it was going to make another move up. So we got back into our position for when we got a candle that broke a new high. Complete faked out, and it went against us, and we exited this position here. And unfortunately, at this stage, we were 24,000 down on GLSI. We'd gone in big size. We had at one stage, I think it was 20,000 shares, and it doesn't take a lot to lose $20,000 if you've got 20,000 shares. A single dollar in the movement is going to cost you $20,000, and that's essentially what happened. Is that we were in at $20,000, it pulled all the way back, and then we got back in. We were in there for 5. We added to a position, and then it pulled back. So not great trading, but very volatile, moving very, very quickly. The spreads were wild as well. So I perhaps should have chosen my stocks to trade better. This was not a great stock to trade because of all of those reasons. It was high risk. If it had gone in my favor, it would have been high reward. Unfortunately, when it's high risk, it doesn't always go in your favor, and sometimes it goes against you, like it did for me today. So yeah, unfortunately, that happens from time to time. I didn't trade it well, and I know I didn't trade it well, but we learn. Our next one that we traded was ORMP, and this was after the bell. So we got in here 950. We got this pullback, and then as we broke highs, we got some movement here. and we were able to ride this up, take some profit. We did trade this a little bit later as well. We got this lovely double bottom, and we were able to get in as we broke the VWAP here and get back in and ride this up. So this was 10:35 on this candle here is when we got in, and we rolled this up all the way up to $12. So this was a good a good trade. We could have got more out of this if we'd been a little bit more aggressive. We started off with 2,500 shares. We moved up to 5,000 shares. We added another 5, took 2.5 off, etc., etc. So on the run up, we probably could have been a little bit more aggressive, but it is what it is, and we made good gains on ORMP. We then traded Caspian Holdings again. So this was moving up, and we traded this very well yesterday. We traded it again very well today. So Caspian Holdings, it started to make a move up. It halted into a volatility halt, and when it resumed, it moved up again. And as it pulled back here, I was looking for potentially fill the gap and then move back up, and that's exactly what it did. So as it broke a new high here, that's when we entered just over 650. We got in at 665. With our first entry was 665. That's our first fill. And then we rolled this up. It was very volatile. The spreads, again, were kind of wild, but we rolled this up based on our knowledge of it from yesterday. We took profits along the way as this moved up into a halt. We got caught in that halt, and not a problem, because we had we gapped up. As soon as it resumed, we put a 20-cent trailing stop in place. So it moved up, and then as it pulled back, it stopped us out for 20 cents there. We did try and trade this again as it moved back up. We broke highs here, and it pulled back, but I held through this consolidation here, and it moved up. We took some profits when it started to pull back on this red candle. Essentially, what I was looking at here was kind of this double top, devil horns, if you will, if this was a little bit bigger wick. The double top, it's kind of suggested that this is going to be a reversal, a pullback. So that's when we got out of this. It started to pull back, so we got out with Caspian. We did trade this again a little bit later when it did make a lovely move up. But again, the thing is, you've got to be careful. You've got to manage your risks here, because it's extremely volatile. So we started to make this move up. We were kind of trading around the VWAP. As it moved up, we got this pullback and then a move up again, and we got in here as it made new highs on this candle, and we were able to trade this, ride it up, taking profits along the way. And then we exited. We got the devil horns here, the exit indicator. So this first candle that made a new low here is when we got out, and we did get back in. So we were looking for the first candle to make a new high. We got back in, and we rolled this up. We got out at 975 on this candle here, and I'd switched over to something else. I was looking at something else, or I was doing something else. And it was someone on the Discord said that it's flushed. I'm like, okay, that's fine. If it's flushed, it's fine. I don't mind. I'll take a look. But it flushed. So that's it. That's when I went out. I know what I was doing. I took the dog for a walk at this stage. So I took the dog for a quick walk. And when I came back, someone said it had flushed, and so okay, I came back in, and it was around 11:30, so it was about half an hour with the dog, and you can see here how it moved down. It was up at over $10, 10.15, I think was the high 10.16, and it started to move down into a halt, a volatility halt, and that the low of this candle here was 8.69. It resumed at 7.93. So that's almost 80 cents on the dollar. I'm glad I wasn't in this flush, but we'd also moved from 10.16 into the halt at 8.69. So there's over a dollar, excuse me, over $1.40 there in that move down. Then there's another 80 cents on the gap down, and then it just continued to sell off. So it opened at 7.93 and halted at 7.14. So that's another 80 cents down there. So it gapped down again. And when it halted again and gapped down further, it pulled all the way down to kind of 5.50. So it went from 10.16 to 5.50 in this very short space of time, with 4 volatility halts to the downside. If you were holding, if you were trading it up here, up in the 940s, 950s, or whatever it was, if you got in here and you didn't spot the doji, you didn't spot the exit signals, you could have lost a lot. This could have got your margin called. Just the way it was and how volatile it was and how quickly it moved. And when it resumed, it gapped down and quickly down into another flush and another halt, another gap down before it eventually started to make its way back up again. Very dangerous. This can happen with these micro float stocks. Only 1.5 million shares in this float, which means you're guaranteed volatility if there's volume with it. That's not a bad thing, but you've got to be very, very careful, and you've got to manage your risk. So if you see the move up and then the doji, you need to exit there. You don't want to take the risk of getting caught in these kind of volatility halts. When it moves up and starts to pull back, you're getting a red candle with the upwick. It's definitely time to get out. First candle to break a new low is kind of a good rule of thumb to use with these stocks. Because you've got a candle breaks a new low, you're out in its entirety. You can always get back in if it decides to rally again, but very, very scary movement on Caspian Holdings. So this, it was on the way up. We did manage to trade it well. We got $9,500 out of Caspian Holdings. So the fact that if I'd been in this and not spotted these exit indicators, I potentially could have not just lost that 9,000, but the aggressive nature of my trading, I probably would have lost a huge amount with that. On top of where we were with the GLSI, the Green Life Science losses from earlier, that could have been the difference between me getting margin called on the day. Just that kind of move. If you're not quick enough to exit your position for a loss, that's what will happen. So just remember to manage your risk. Remember to cut your losses as soon as it's going against you, and you can always get back in at a later stage. But considering it was up at 10.50, it's at 50% of its value in this space of time. So extremely volatile. Now we did trade some more later in the day. I'm just looking at what else did we trade. We traded Regional Health. So this was in the afternoon. So we got on this just after 1 o'clock, and we had this move up, and then we got this another move up, which we were able to take advantage of before it started to pull back. And then we got this move up here and we were able to trade this, and it reached kind of 560s before pulling back. So again, Regional Health, another good stock. Rhythm Pharmaceutical was another one that was moving up. If you zoom out, you can see the kind of action that we were looking at here, way above the VWAP, moving up, and you can see these good trading. If we go back to Regional Health, you can see very strong moves to the upside. Oramed Pharmaceutical, we had these initial moves. So this is where I got most of my gains on Oramed Pharmaceutical. Is on this second move, the initial move, and then the pullback we got on this double bottom, and then we moved up. Caspian Holdings, you can see that we got some of the move up, and then we got, again, double bottom, move up. So double bottom was a good call. I called this out in the Discord a couple of times. Double bottoms that I was seeing. Indonesian Energy. Indonesian Energy was pretty much pre-market, was where the long action was. So we move up pre-market, and then it sold off, and that was pretty much the rest of the day. Histogen, we had this lovely move, as I mentioned, before 7:30. I got this little bit of a bounce here before it then sold off for the rest of the day. Canoe, good moves up from 7 o'clock. Then it was consolidating. Then a move up into the open. Bit of a sell-off, and then we got some kind of choppy moves throughout the rest of the day. Good range to be able to trade this because it kept moving up. What you would have been able to do with this was the VWAP fade, moving up to the VWAP pullback, VWAP pullback, VWAP pullback. Classic VWAP fade type. So you could have potentially taken advantage of that. Blue Hat. This was another one that it was pretty. Made a big move pre-market, sold off, a little bit of a bounce, then very choppy before it then got back above the VWAP, and then a move up to the upside. So a lot of these stocks today were very volatile. We're getting good moves. If you were spotting the patterns, the double bottom pattern was very evident quite a few of these moves. There was a lot of bull flags that we could have taken advantage of. There's a beautiful bull flag. There's a move up here, and the pullback. This is a bull flag, but it also pulls back to the VWAP. So you look for a VWAP bounce, candle to make a new high there, and you could ride this up. So a lot of good movement going on today, and unfortunately, we got this big move up, and we got on the wrong end of that. So while some people could have made a lot of money with that, we lost a lot of money with that, and that kind of was what really set us up for failure today. And I'm not saying it's a failure, but $2,500 red on the day, it's certainly not a victory. So yeah, but you can see that even after it sold off, it then started to make gains for most of the rest of the day. So if you hadn't been trading in the early volatile period, you potentially could have taken advantage of some of these gains. There was some good moves, there was some good patterns and good breakouts on the way up. The fact that it was trading below the VWAP probably would have deterred a lot of day traders from trading to the long side, but it was still moving upwards. So Blue Hat, a lot of good. So we've got double bottom formation here with the move up, the pullback, bottom, W formation, bottom, move up. A lot of these. There's a nice little double bottom here for the move up. So a lot of patterns that you could take advantage of. That if you're paying attention and you're setting your targets right, you're managing your risks right, you could make some good money today. We traded, I think it was 9 stocks in total, 9 tickers in total, and we should have been a lot better if we either not traded or traded Green Life Science better. We would have been in a much better position than what we find ourselves in. But it's a small drawdown to recover from. So we'll do that tomorrow. I'm not saying that we definitely will, but we'll attempt to do that tomorrow. We'll be back at it tomorrow, 90 minutes before the market opens. We'll be trading pre-market. So that's 1 o'clock my time, Dublin or London or Manchester, wherever you are in the UK. It's 2 o'clock on the European continent, or it's 8 a.m. market time, East Coast. So come join me then, and we'll do it all over again. And hopefully tomorrow will be a green day. We was hoping for a green day today, but unfortunately, we all have red days from time to time. I've just got to try and keep looking for the positives, even though I'm a little bit disappointed in today's results. So come back, join us tomorrow for live trading, and I'll see you there. Enjoy the rest of your evening.